Hey everybody, this is Roger. I've got my channel coming up, Squatchin Holler. It'll be me and my son. Um, I've got some videos posted already. I've been helping Mike Bluler over at Red Creek Mafia YouTube channel. He has an incredible story. I heard him on, it was Bigfoot and Beyond with Cliff and Bobo, and reached out to him and told my story. Got that off my chest. I'd been holding in for years, and we've had some things happen lately. Got a piece of property that's in the family that has been normal until about a year ago, and so these recent videos, we had started going out at night, and I felt really comfortable getting out, sitting in the back of the truck, looking at the stars, and just enjoying nature. We had thought about building a fire, but then one trip, some strange things started happening. My wife and I, we saw a light in a tree beside her that we couldn't figure out what it was. No reason for it to be there. And went back the next day and looked for any kind of device, but it lasted about 20-25 minutes. I've heard two separate times during the day a woman laughing in the same area. There's nobody there, shouldn't be anybody close by. This was a couple months apart maybe, and so my son and I started going, and then we had strange smells come in the truck, and then four of us went a few weeks ago, and on my side of the truck, my son's girlfriend, we both heard two footfalls, very large. I asked her, did she hear it? And she said yes, and it sounded like it was big as a cow, but it was 2 feet, and there are no livestock, there are no no horses, cows, whatever, even close to this place. The way we look, Don Odom had an experience there when he was a game warden several years ago, and we looked at it on Google Maps, and it's approximately 1.3 miles from the edge of the woods to the road. So, and there's nothing in between. So this past week and a half or so, I've been taking my dog Honey out to run, just let her run free, especially during the winter, because this is a really rocky place, and there's snakes, there's copperheads, rattlesnakes, whatever. Excuse me. So during the summer, we let her run in the field. But anyway, I went out there, had her on a leash, and some strange things. I heard a sound I've never heard before. I'm 52. I've been in the woods most of my life, and I've actually seen a Bigfoot when I was about 14. I'll get into that later. You can go to Red Creek Mafia and YouTube page and watch my account there with Mike. But this past few weeks have been crazy, because we actually got some things on video, some sound. I joined Thinker Thunker's Facebook page. I just got approved, and I'm trying to get the video to him so he can analyze the sound. And I have to apologize. You can go to my YouTube page and watch the video, and I apologize for the language, because this experience lasted about 20 minutes, and we had a boulder throw. This was about 60 yards through the woods from us. It was very close. And as some of you know, the video, the sound, we don't have the great equipment, just our phones, and we've been buying stuff. I don't know, like I've got this mic, a cheap mic. I've got me I've got a tablet. We're starting out cheap, and and I've got, it's a poor man's GoPro. I don't know what brand it is, but I've got it going. It's here somewhere. So we're going to start taking that stuff out so we can get better evidence, you know, and hopefully. But anyway, this went on, tree snaps, and you could tell the difference. And we could hear things before, like you can hear in the video, like, what is that? And it'd be like something picking up a log, and then it would throw it, good sized logs, and break. And so something was not happy we were there, but we were gifting. We took some advice from a friend. We had the apples and oranges. We took a rake, raked out an area around this little tree, so if anything stepped in there to get it, we would hopefully get some kind of print. So, you know, 15 minutes into this, I've got my son with me. He's 25. He can take care of himself. But the boulder throw, the tree snaps, what else was there? Other sounds. Tree knocks, actually, but they were large. Like something was taking a fallen half-dead log and throwing it against either some of these big boulders that are out there or against another tree. And but at about this, I shortened the video, so I think it's around the 4-minute mark to the 4:15 mark. You can scroll forward, and there is a short, loud screech scream. Then what I heard, I could hear the air come through the nostrils, you know, and just very large, just a push of air, and a huff, growl combination, then a tree break. Now, we've gone over it with the original video that I have on my phone is a whole lot clearer. I'm getting a spam column here. I don't know if it shows up. Sorry. So when I hear the animal sound, very large animal sound, that's when it scares me, and I come out with, you know, cuss words. I didn't mean to, but hopefully somebody can take and either, I know they've got this equipment. I'm not up on all this stuff, but they have equipment that they can maybe go take my voice out. But I really want somebody to analyze this, because at that moment that I knew it was a big animal, that's when then I got scared, because, you know, he was with me, and here we were. We had protection, but, you know, everybody thinks guns will protect you against all this stuff, but, you know, I've been hunting all my life. I've had things happen. Animals get in on you before you mean to. Hold on just a second. I apologize. We're in southern middle Tennessee. A lot of stuff's blooming, and I'm older, and that's what's happening to me. But I'm gonna post this on the Facebook page to some people that are, you know, it's a Florida, like, cryptid Bigfoot page, but they've allowed me to share some things because I want to know, and to get what we got on video, and we didn't get a lot of it, but we did get that sequence, and to us what we came up with. If you can picture in your head, you have to use headphones, but if you can picture in your head something big with hands, mad, screaming out, and then like somebody, you know, athletes, when they go to hit a baseball, or tennis players, they'll this grunt because they're exerting a lot of energy, or somebody working out with weights, or you know, somebody doing karate. You see, you know, when they're exerting a lot of force, they'll make noises. So what it sounds like to me, and my son agrees, is that something is mad, screams, and then a huff, an explosion out of the nostrils of air, and then the hit. So the hit comes, this is, I say the word, this is the least worst word I say, but I say shit. And my son pointed out when I get to the H, you can hear the tree, the crack or the hit, and it's there. When we went back to the truck, we played it over the speakers, and it didn't do it justice for what we heard because it was so close. But we had it on video. We got proof. I was excited, but this area, there's hardly any cell phone service, and you have to it's spotty. So if you want to talk to somebody, you wait about 3 or 4 miles to pass this junkyard over a hill, and then you're good. But on the way, it just all my energy I guess it drained me, that experience. And so if you watch the videos on my YouTube channel, now I messed up when I first started a week ago or so, and my son and I came up with the name Squatchin Holler because we live in the country, and Squatchin Holler can be anywhere, and it's kind of catchy. So that's what the name's going to be. I have thinking about this at the moment right now on the title, but when I changed it a couple times while I was thinking about it, YouTube restricted me. So I've got like 2 more days, and then I'll change it officially. But I do have, I'm going to do some interviews. I've got signed up with StreamYard. I've got to help Mike. I've got to talk to some great people. Learned a lot in the past few weeks. He's going on a trip. He's going to be interviewed tonight, actually. Ontario Bigfoot. I'll have to look it up. But so I've kind of been thrown in this new world. But what I've realized is that everybody that has had experiences in their life, and people have called them crazy, they've just bottled it up, and it feels good. It's and it helps. And because I've done this, there's some people very close to me, and some of them don't want to be named, and I understand why, have called or texted and said thank you for sharing your story, because these people, they're not Bigfoot people, they're not cryptid people, they don't know this other world exists. And so you're kind of educating some of them. And one of them said, I don't feel crazy, because when you talked about the scream and the sound hitting you, he said that's exactly what I felt. I couldn't describe it, but that's what it was. And Kevin, I may have him on. I'm sure he'd come on. Known him all my life, and he had an up close experience when he was younger with his brother, 20 yards away. It was trying to steal a calf. So, and then I've got Don Odom, very good friend of mine. He's my go-to guy when I've had a lot of experiences in my life that I can't, it's not that I can't explain them, I just didn't want to talk about them. And he would listen. He's former game warden, so anything to do with animals, that's how it started. Saw mountain lions. I was one of the first people to admit to seeing mountain lions in this part of the country. And probably about 1989. I had a '88 Mustang at the time, so that's that had to be, and that was about that time. Ended up working for a little local newspaper and doing a story on them called the TWRA, Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, and they gave me the same word for word canned answer, so I knew, they'd been told to deny it. Every state around us had sightings, so I contacted Stacy Case at Fox 17 in Nashville, and we got together, and I gave her some questions and some points to check into, and she finally actually went and they exposed it, and now the TWRA admits they're here, but they don't say there's a lot of them, but they're around. And had a guy moved in from Washington State years ago, and he found some scat on his property, and he came, asked me, do y'all have mountain lions around here? And I'm like, well, we do, but they don't admit to it. I said, why do you ask? And he said, I found some scat. He said, I know what it looks like. I've been around it all my life. He said, if that's the case, you boys go in here hunting, looking down on the ground. He said, you want to start looking up because they'll ambush you. And so I said, well, thank you. Thank you. And, you know, he ended up seeing a few. But anyway, so with Don, he's just my go-to guy. And then we got into talking about other stuff and other experiences. And so I'm sure I'll have him on once I figure this StreamYard thing out. We'll do a live stream interview with him, and I haven't asked him yet, but I'm sure he'll do it. And yeah, this new place. Well, there's another place on the south end of the county we have permission to hunt, and I won't get into all of it, but we found a tree snap, 5.5 foot up, no reason for it to be broken. And that's not the only one, but this was the first one. And I stepped past that marker that I found out. You know, I've learned everything in reverse over the years with more technology and more shows and more experts about what happened to me when I was younger. So, but I saw this and we were looking at it, and I thought, I'm thinking that's what the marker is supposed to look like. And we're looking around. We're not a Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Dogman first kind of family. You know, we're looking for proof. You know, look at the signs, look at what's there. You know, you can tell pretty much what happened, but there was no reason for this to be snapped. I stepped past it. My phone, Siri, I don't want to say it, it might trigger here, but it triggered. And she said, I don't quite understand. So I grabbed my phone. We're not hunting, we're scouting. We got 2 weeks before the season. And this is the first time we've been on this property in a long time. And so automatically I grabbed the phone. Well, as I'm doing that, a rock about double your fist approximately, about 12 to 15 yards up the hill, there was a stand of cedars, small cedars. This rock came over the cedars and landed and bounced down the hill towards us. And, you know, you got to have thumbs to do that. And we didn't hear anything. And we, you know, my son and I are pretty in tune with each other. We looked like, uh-oh, you know. And my son said, are we just going to ignore that we just had a rock thrown at us? I said, no, I've got to figure out how to get out of here. So we talked about it briefly and then backed down away from the rock and we left. And we've had other experiences there. We found other tree breaks that unexplainable, no reason for it. Smells. I've got an impression. I'm not sure that it's a footprint, but it's very odd, and it's got the shape, and it's, you know, I'm stepped beside it, and I'm not making an impression in the ground. So I'm 265 maybe, depending on the day. So we've had some experiences, and you know, we're trying to make sense of them. And as the evidence piles up, you don't know. Keep trying to explain it away, but it's getting to a point now where we can't. It's too many things happening. And then yesterday, I went to check the gifting spot after that experience that Peyton and I had a week ago. And I go in, nothing's touched the apples and oranges, you know, which, you know, it's been cold, but the past 3 days have been warm. No insects, you know, which makes sense. But on the way out, I was there, and my wife was out in the field with my dog, letting her run. On the way out, I just had a feeling. I turned around, just one more pan around, and this tree that has been there for a while, it had been broke from previous wind damage. And we had looked at it the week before, and it was solid. It was on the stump, and it was hung up in a tree at this angle, a limb, and there were those vines, the thick vines, had it held up. Well, as I turned around, you can see in the video, it looks like it's pulled down here. And, you know, gravity, everything's going to go this way. But like a seesaw, this end comes up. It looks like pressure's being exerted up at the top of this thing, which is easily 10 foot off the ground at the top, maybe even 15, because this one spot where we got a screenshot of, looks like a cloaked Bigfoot. I don't know if my son's gonna go back out there with me, because he did last weekend. He said, Daddy, you know, it was 29 degrees early in the morning, and he said, I just saw like a heat wave, but it was moving left to right. And he said, the only reason I saw it is because it moved in front of a tree in that dark background. And he doesn't look up this stuff like I do. And I said, well, okay, let's get out here and talk about this, because that's when all the other activity was going on, the huff and the growl and the tree, the log throws and the boulder throws. And so, you know, he said it looked like a heat wave, but then he went, like, you can see, you know, it's cold. You can see his breath. So anyway, those are the videos. You can go watch them. I apologize for the language. And I hope to get some interesting, I've got some interesting guests I know I can get. I hope we can build on that. And it's just for, like, Mike had a bad experience. You can go look it up at Red Creek Mafia. I interviewed him a few days ago, and he wanted to do it on his channel. It was very emotional. And people that have experienced this, they have felt crazy, or, you know, it builds up because you can't share it. And then when you get to share it with people that have experienced things, it just releases. It feels great. And with all the things going on in the world now, and the UFOs, the government, whatever you think about that, things are getting crazy. And so this stuff that we're talking about doesn't seem as crazy anymore. Here's my little camera, Acaso. So anyway, I'm gonna figure out how to use all this. But okay, so this has gone long enough. This is my first time, so I'm taping it ahead of time. We'll have some boots on the ground things. I'll have my dog. I'll do some shorts with her, and she's a big part of our life. You know, we saved her maybe a year and a half ago, a little longer now. She's just been a blessing for all of us. And and you know, when we had that experience when I had the experience with her a week and a half ago, with this noise that I've never heard before, ever heard this before. And it advanced on us from 60, 75 yards to within 15 to 20 yards without a noise. And you can hear in the video, and my camera cut off. I thought I got it. When we got out, I was excited, but took it to Don, went straight to his house. You're not going to, you know, he's a former game warden. I wanted to know what the sound was. I wanted to know what animal it was. We got there. We watched 8 minutes into it. This probably happened at the 11-minute mark. My phone quit recording. And I felt so dejected, felt like an idiot, because you know, and I've seen this happen to people before out in the field. And you know, is it entertainment? Is it for suspense or whatever? And this happened to me twice in the past 2 weeks. So we get this other equipment. Maybe it'll work better. So anyway, you know, Honey, going back to her, when it got close to us, she dropped down on the ground and looked at me like, help me. And it sounded like something very large was coaxing her to it, trying to. And I knew right then I couldn't leave her. I did have a pistol with me, but I didn't have a holster. I just had it under my arm, and I had her, and I had the phone going, or I thought I did. And I just looked at her and said, look, I'm not going to leave you. but you got to help me. And usually when on the leash, she'll lead me out, and she stayed she got up, stayed close to my left leg. I turned my back on whatever it was, and it got quiet when I started talking, and we went out straight to the truck. And when I called Don, and we went straight to his house, and I found out I didn't have it all. So I'm kind of scared for her to go back. But I'll post some good stuff. It's always fun we got to have fun with this too. And we'll try to do some exploring. It's some of these areas that I've been hearing locally where people have been coming to me and tell me, just yesterday, I won't get into that. It's been long enough, but we've got a lot of stuff. So thank you for hanging in here with me. Some of you probably dropped off 2 minutes into it. That's okay. I understand. I've got a short attention span also. But we're going to keep it fun and have fun with it. And, some of them, people may cry on your shoulder or whatever. That's okay too. And I'm going to share this. If you would go follow the link from this video and subscribe. And I understand a couple weeks, if I can't get enough entertaining stuff, you can do away with it. But I appreciate you listening. And I always tell people this. I'm not ashamed of my accent, but I say, being a hick, I tend to sound like one, but I'm not going to apologize for it. We had a store on Interstate. I came in contact with people from all over the world, and that's what makes us unique. All right. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you later.